Okay. Hello, everybody. How's it going? Hope you're doing very, very well. It's Tuesday today. I'm slightly late, 15 minutes late today, but welcome to another Tuesday talks with Azren. We've got YouTube going, we have Facebook going, we have Instagram going over here. So multiple different cameras. Hope you guys like my shirt today. YouTube, Facebook, can you see it? I'm Azren, the language nerd. So I'm happy about that. Yeah, let's just dive right in. So we put out a big shout out to Jared, who runs the Calgary Language Nerds Facebook page, which, by the way, is the funniest thing. So here's a quick little backstory. The Calgary Language Nerds Facebook page is a page that we use to moderate the Language Learning Nerds Facebook group. But the funny thing is, if you go to the page, it's like completely empty. It looks like there's not a single post. Like we don't actually post anything on that page, which I think is kind of funny. It's kind of weird, actually. There should be like things that are posted to that page and whatnot. But yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those things. So big shout out to Jared for putting out this week's poll for our topic today. And the poll won by a landslide. The topic that people voted in, it's like 130 votes was like the number one topic selection, and the vote was on the topic that was selected and was super popular this week is, can you actually learn a language in 3 months? So the short answer is absolutely. You can learn a language in 3 months. Absolutely, yes, you can. You can study very intensively. You can be very strategic about how you study, about doing listening practice and speaking practice and reading things and input and output. And you could structure things in a very strategic way. You could really plan it out. You absolutely can go learn a language in 3 months. It will take a lot of effort. It will take a lot of time. It might be stressful potentially, and yeah, I think that's the shortest, simplest way that I could answer you. Now, the question then becomes, what is your definition of learning a language in 3 months? That's kind of that's where we have to get a little bit specific. If you told me, Azren, I want to speak X language, Italian, like we have our I don't know what your real name is, but Akovic on Akovic, I don't know, on Instagram, he said, I would love to learn Italian first. That's fantastic. That's great. You want to learn Italian first? Great. Could you go learn Italian in 3 months? Sure, you could. Now, how much could you learn in 3 months, and to what degree of fluency could you get to? Could you get to my level of French in 3 months, or my level of Spanish in 3 months? I don't think so. I really don't. I'm super duper fluent in Spanish and in French. I'm very comfortable in those languages. So I don't think you could get to that degree of fluency in 3 months. I just think it's a little bit too challenging and a little bit too ambitious. There's too much grammar, too much pronunciation work, too much vocabulary. There's just too much information. There's just too much information that you would have to know. And so that's where we have to start to define how far can you get in those 3 months. And I think that's going to be different for everyone. I think if it were me and I had to go become as fluent as I could in 3 months of learning a language, and I cleared my schedule, I had most of the day free where I could practice, I think what I personally would try to achieve in 3 months is a high amount of vocabulary. I would specifically learn vocabulary that I'm going to need on a frequent basis, that I will need to use depending on why I'm trying to learn in 3 months. I think everyone's got different reasons as to why they've even got that thought in their head. So I would specifically kind of work on those kinds of words first. I would probably put grammar on a back burner. I probably wouldn't worry a crazy amount about grammar, just considering the time crunch. I would let small mistakes go, and I would just basically just try to learn how I can get my point across By the way, hey, Charlie, I see you. I assume that's Charlie in Street French here. Nice to see you on Instagram. So I would just try to get my point across. And I would only, essentially what I'm trying to say is I would pick out what are the bare bones things that I absolutely feel that I need to know. And those would be the things that I would go and focus on learning. I do a heck of a lot of input. I'd practice. I'd actually learn a lot of common phrases. Like I learned different ways to ask, how are you? Different ways I can respond to how are you? I'd learn, I would immediately learn how to talk about, like do small talk about what I'm up to today, what I'm doing tomorrow, what I'm doing over the weekend, what I did previously. A lot of anything that I'm going to need to use. Because again, everyone's thinking of learning in 3 months for different reasons. So some people might be because they're moving to a country. Well, if you're moving to a country that speaks Spanish, the types of things you're going to need to know are way different than if I was trying to become fluent in 3 months because, I really like this girl and I want to talk to her in-laws. So different. Those are super, super, super different. Me having to talk to someone's in-laws in such and such language would require a different amount of vocabulary, different types of phrases, right? Than it would if I was moving to Spain in 3 months. So you've got to kind of be strategic because you can't learn it all in 3 months. I speak French super well, but guess what? I still literally every day, I think every day I learn something new in French and Spanish. Or I'll remember something I used to know, but I forgot and I didn't even know I forgot. Every day there's at least one thing. And it's been 10 for Spanish. It's been a good 12 years. 12 years? Yeah, 12 years for Spanish. 23 years for French. Like, wow, that's a long time. By the way, Akashdeep, what bachelor degree do you have? I did a bachelor's in French and Spanish. Graduated in 2014. So I think that's kind of my answer to, can you learn a language in 3 months? Sure, you can learn a certain amount of a language in 3 months, and you can be very strategic as to what you choose to learn in those 3 months to be the maximum usefulness for you to get yourself the furthest in those 3 months. But could you become an advanced speaker in all elements of the language in 3 months? I don't think so. I think there might be the one-off person who's able to. Maybe I haven't seen anyone, but I'm sure there's the one-off person who can do it. But I don't think it's the majority who can. And maybe the thing I'll say to wrap up today's video, this is a great way to finish things off. My preference when you're learning a language, and what I personally have seen to work more effectively, is to treat language learning as a project that's going to take a number of years, right? A number of years. I really, and that's not popular. Always when I say those, people are going to drop off the videos as soon as I get into this. Like, it's always, whenever I talk about this, it's never the most popular thing I say. It really isn't, but it's the most true. It's the most truthful thing I say. I said this a little while ago. I think most people, or a lot of people, do not have the personal experience of becoming exceptionally good at something. I don't think people know what that's like. I think most people are not exceptionally good at something. Or if they are, maybe it was something that just came natural to them. Like they were good at math in school. So like, oh, they were just really good at math just because of DNA or luck or whatever. Your parents had a baby at the right time and you got the right genes for that. But I don't think a lot of people don't have that experience of becoming exceptionally good. If you become exceptionally good at something else, like that was outside of language learning, you would understand just how much time it takes. I just put a post recently. I posted something where I was able to understand roughly, I watched 10 minutes of some random play in Gujarati, like just some random one. I just threw it up on YouTube, watched 10 minutes because I haven't tried to do that in a long time. And I was curious to see how much I would understand. Get this, guys. I understood about 90% or more of what was being said. And here's the catch. I was thinking about how much time I've put into Gujarati. I have a long way to go for Gujarati. I have a long way to go. I don't understand the news in Gujarati. I'm lost when I watch the news. I understand like 20% of the news, maybe 20%. So I've got a long way to go, clearly. But let's think this through, right? I've put in easily 500 plus hours of like pretty active study into Gujarati. And then like, of course, I've grown up with Gujarati too. So I don't know if those hours count. Let's say they count towards something, but 500 plus hours of active study, or I've done speaking practice or listening. I've talked to people. I've tried to learn new words. I practice my reading or writing or things like that. Like, you know, that's a lot, and I have a long way to go. So I'm not even close to being done, close to being as fluent as I would like to be. So think of it in hours. Like, it takes a long time. Here's a fun fact. I'm a lot closer to touching my toes now than I used to be. I'm not very flexible. But as soon as I kind of consciously realized, oh yeah, it takes hundreds upon hundreds of hours consistently over a number of years to become exceptional at something. And it's just about doing something every day, every week, adding up those hours, racking up those hours over a number of years. You just got to do it like that, and you'll get there, right? And as soon as that hit me, I was like, oh yeah. And I've been way more consistent and patient with my health and fitness. And I've noticed I'm closer to touching my toes now. I'm a little bit more flexible. I've noticed it. It's really cool. It's super cool. So, anyway, let's how long is it going on? 11 minutes, 12 minutes. Let me look if there's any questions in the chat. I'll answer any questions and we can finish up. So let's see, anything on Facebook? No questions on Facebook. Nope, nothing on Facebook. If you do have a question, type it in. YouTube. Music for You says, hey, I've been learning English for 5 months, but I can't speak it fluently. That's normal, super normal. Give yourself a few more years at least. And then we also got a question here. Is this the recorder or is it a live stream? This is live. Hey, you can see me. I can see you. This is amazing. Let's go to YouTube, Instagram, sorry. You aren't born in India. No, Akashdeep, I am not born in India. I'm not born in India. So, any other questions? Let me see. Oh, Varda's still here. Nice to see you, Varda. Varda, I'll call you sometime. We should, if you're not as busy as you were before, I'll call you and we'll talk. But if you're still super busy, then no problem. Okay. We can finish there. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you for watching. Let's end this one first. Instagram first. Bye, Instagram. Oops. And there we go. We're going to share this to Instagram TV, IGTV. Okay, we're going to end this on YouTube. See you, YouTube. Bye-bye. All right.